What caused the Roaring Twenties to crash and usher in the Great Depression? Welcome to Class Bites. Today, we're diving into the devastating economic collapse that plunged the world into a decade of hardship. How could an era of widespread prosperity, a decade of roaring confidence and seemingly limitless growth, collapse so utterly and so suddenly? The vibrant energy of the 1920s came to a screeching halt in October of 1929 with the catastrophic crash of the stock market, an event that did not merely signal an economic downturn, but heralded the beginning of the Great Depression, a period of profound global suffering that would last until 1939. This was not a localized crisis. Its effects were worldwide in scope, a severe economic contagion that plunged nations across the globe into a shared nightmare. The period was defined by staggering rates of unemployment that left millions without work and dignity, and a pervasive poverty that gnawed at the fabric of societies. Industrial production, the engine of the modern world, drastically reduced its output, while international trade, the lifeblood of the global economy, withered under the strain, leading to widespread bank and business failures that cascaded from one country to the next. The intricate web of treaties and international settlements so carefully constructed in the wake of the first great post-war era proved shockingly fragile, collapsing with breathtaking speed under the immense pressure of the Great Depression. The economic turmoil was compounded by the aggressive revisionism of nations like Japan, Italy, and Germany, who saw the chaos as an opportunity to reshape the world order to their advantage. By the year 1933, it was as if the entire economic structure painstakingly raised during the 1920s had been leveled, with hardly one stone left standing on another. In a desperate and misguided attempt to shield their own economies from the global storm, nations turned inward, enacting protectionist policies. They raised tariffs and erected formidable trade barriers, policies which, rather than providing a solution, served only to further exacerbate the devastating economic downturn. This retreat into economic isolationism fostered an international environment poisoned by suspicion and a lack of cooperation, making it tragically easier for aggressive powers, most notably Nazi Germany, to pursue their expansionist ambitions without fear of a unified response. The world watched, paralyzed, as the Japanese and German governments, encouraged by the lack of a strong United States response to Japan's invasion of China in 1937 and Germany's annexation of Czechoslovakia in 1938, felt emboldened to enlarge their military campaigns, pushing the world ever closer to the precipice of another great conflict. This profound economic instability inevitably bled into the political sphere, creating widespread political instability in many parts of the world. The ensuing political chaos, in turn, created a fertile breeding ground for the rise of dictatorial regimes, such as the one forged by Adolf Hitler in Germany and the military junta that seized control in Japan. In Germany, the deteriorating economic conditions of the 1930s cultivated a populace that was angry, deeply frightened, and struggling with immense financial hardship. This environment of desperation made people tragically open to the promises of more extreme political systems, including the alluringly simple and brutal ideologies of fascism and communism. Adolf Hitler found a receptive audience for his venomous anti-Semitic and anti-communist rhetoric, skillfully and despicably depicting Jews as the scapegoats responsible for causing the Depression. The German nation, which had become heavily dependent on loans from the United States during its post-war recovery, was hit particularly hard by the crisis. As American capital vanished, unemployment in Germany skyrocketed to nearly 30%, fueling the flames of political extremism and paving a direct path for Adolf Hitler's Nazi Party to seize power in 1933. It is a crucial distinction, however, to understand that the Great Depression did not single-handedly cause the rise of the Third Reich, nor did it create the bellicose and expansionist ideologies of the German, Italian, and Japanese governments, as all of these predated the economic collapse of the 1930s. Instead, the Depression acted as a powerful catalyst. It created the precise conditions necessary for the Nazi seizure of power in Germany and provided both the opportunity and the perfect excuse for fascist empire building on a global scale. The Great Depression also inflicted significant and lasting damage on the state of international relations. The economic crisis critically weakened the League of Nations, the international organization established after the First World War with the noble mission of promoting peace and ensuring collective security. The League's manifest inability to effectively address the crippling economic crisis, coupled with its failure to prevent the aggressive actions of countries like Japan and Italy, served to further destabilize an already fragile global order. As nations focused on their internal economic woes, the spirit of international cooperation evaporated, leaving the League a hollow shell, powerless to enforce its own mandates and unable to stand against the rising tide of militarism and aggression that the Depression had so tragically unleashed upon the world. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts or what you'd like to see next.